Welcome back to Financial Wellness Center. We hope you've been keeping financially healthy. A special thank you to all that have followed us on our social media platforms, and most importantly to our customers or clients that keep on consulting with us so that they can have a financially healthy journey. My name is Sheila, and I'll be taking you through today's topic, which is the debt you should never have. So stick with me and let's explore. Now, number one, the debt that you should never have is taking a debt for business you have no concept about. Now, we are in an era where we've heard about you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to venture into business, and it's all good. That motivation, that inspiration to venture into business, it's absolutely great. However, you have to look, and if you're looking to venture into a business, you have to sit down and ask yourself, do I understand this business? How much is the capital required? Am I able to raise that capital? But do not take a debt to venture into a business that you have no concept about. Just because you saw on social media, people are saying like maybe agribusiness is doing well because people must eat, or someone is telling you, Forex earns you money, you don't have to stress yourself, or someone is saying, do this kind of business, online business, or virtual assistance. This All these business ideas are great, but you have to first of all do your own research and see, do I understand the concept of this business? After how long should I expect to see returns? For example, before you can venture into a business, you need to do your own analysis and forecast and see how long will it take me before this business can really pick up. Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? And what are the figures we are talking about here? Because some businesses you could be running them just because you open a shop daily, or just because you're having clients. When you go to the books, or when you go back to your numbers, you realize you're making a loss every now and then. So it's important for you to look into the business venture and see, how much am I going to earn? And if I'm going to take a debt, how long will it take for this business to be able to repay the debt by itself? For example, if you're going to take a debt that requires you to pay, let's say 10,000 per month, and you are taking this money to invest in a business, then the business should be able to give you a return of 10,000. This is after expenses, every single month, or even more. It should even be able to give you 12,000 or 15,000 per month, so that you can be able to repay the debt without having to strain. And now this is where I also would love to talk to people and tell them, just because maybe your friend has been running this business, you see them, they are flossing and all, they are like flaunting out there. Take time to understand the business before you can decide to take a loan for it. Otherwise, keep off. Keep off. One thing I always say is there will always be a business idea. If you are looking to venture into business, take your time, analyze the market, understand the business concept, know your numbers, know how long will it take you to be able to see returns, and start to match these numbers with the debt in case you take it. Know what is the interest rate of this debt? How long will I be expected to repay it? Now, are these numbers going to match with the numbers the business is going to give me? And remember, when you're forecasting, you cannot overlook the fact that there could be risks. Sometimes your forecast and the numbers you are seeing on the debt you are about to take, they could be matching, but again, there could be a risk. For example, an accident can happen when you've just opened the business 2 months down the line. For example, a fire or something happens that draws you back. So you need to think about that before you take any debt to invest in any business. The best thing I always encourage our people or our clients to do is create a sinking fund or save up for that business. For example, if I've identified a business venture and I realize this business venture requires a capital of, let's say, 100,000, I will take time, look into my financial status, and then I see how much can I be able to save and after how long to be able to venture into this business. Now, that I would call it as a sinking fund because I'm not going to borrow from anyone. I'm not going to be worried that, oh, if this business tanks or doesn't go well when I start it, how will I repay the debt that I took to start it? So that is the best option if you want to start a business, especially that you don't have much information about. And that is very risky because before you can, this is the song we keep singing here, that before you can venture into anything, spend time to study it, spend time to research about it, spend time to consult about it. And then once you are fully satisfied, then you can be able to make well-informed decisions. Number two, of the debt that you should never take is a debt for family members. I am certain, especially in Africa, we have this thing called black tax where you just feel that some people feel that because they see another family member maybe succeeding or doing well, or they think he or she is doing well financially, they just feel entitled that they should also be beneficiaries of the financial benefits from this person. And one thing I have realized from the clients that usually come to us, they'll always tell you, this debt that I took, I didn't even use a coin. I did not utilize a coin. I took it for my brother. I took it for my sister. I took it for my parents. I took it for my cousin. And they've refused to repay back. So I have to repay it. Now, one sign of financial maturity is the ability to say no financially. What do I mean by this? If someone, let's say a family member, comes and tells you, I need this amount of money. If you do not have that amount of money, you don't need to go to a financial institution or to your mobile phone to get a loan for them. Or if others will approach you directly and tell you, because you are in this and this institution, or I think you can be able to get a loan for me, can you please do it for me? I will repay you. If you are not able, just tell them, no, I'm not able to. Remember, no on its own is already a complete sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. And that is a sign of financial maturity. It's not all the time you have to say yes to all the requests that people will always give you, especially financially. Now, taking a debt for family members, of course, there are cases where it's beyond, it's a state of emergency, like you've tried to exhaust every other means and the person's life is in danger. For example, maybe they are hospitalized and you've exhausted all the resources as a family. Then in such an instance you can, but just for them to ask you to take a debt for them, maybe they want to you to take a debt for them to start a business, to do this or to pay their bills, please learn to say no. Because most of the time, 90% of the time, they don't pay you back. Let's just be honest. When you are taking a debt for a family member or on behalf of a family member, most of the time they will not repay it, and you will end up being the one to repay the debt plus the interest. And what hurts the most is that this is money you didn't even touch, or you didn't even use it to better your life. So this is the type of debt I will tell you, never take it. If you are not able to give the family member that cash at that time, just tell them, no, I'm not able to do it. Remember, no, saying no financially is a sign of it's a sign of financial maturity, actually, because you are able to put yourself first. Now, number 3, the debts that you should never, never, ever take is a debt for investments that do not pay you more than more than the interest rate. Now, when I started, I spoke about you should not take a debt for business. Now, on this side of not taking a debt for a loan, remember there's one example I gave that sometimes for a good debt, you have identified an investment and you don't have the capital at that time, then you go and take a debt to invest and be able to repay it back. Now, on the flip side, there are certain investments that when you look into the interest rate, or sorry, when you look into the returns that investment will give you, it's much, much lower than the interest rate you'll be charged on the loan. What do I mean? Let's take an example. You want to invest in an investment tool that is promising you that they will give you, you will earn a return of about 10% interest. Now, you go and take a debt to invest in this investment tool whose interest rate is 12%. Now, when you compare, the investment is going to give you 10%, but the loan interest rate is 12%, meaning you're just running negatives. So at such a state, or at such a situation, I would say do not take a loan for such an investment, because it's not helping you at any point. A loan, if you are going to take a loan for any investment, that investment should be able to pay you more than the interest rate. For example, if I'm going to take a loan to invest in something, I have to look at that investment. Is it going to give me more? For example, if the investment is going to give me, let's say, 18% returns, and the debt that I'm taking, maybe I'm going to pay an interest rate of about 10% or 12%, then at such an instance, I'll gladly go and take the debt or borrow the money and come and invest in this tool, because I know at the end of the day, I'll make money out of the investment, be able to repay the debt and still remain with some margin, remain with some profit on it. If it's not like that, keep away from such a debt. Keep away from such a debt. Doesn't matter how it has been marketed. It doesn't matter how everyone is investing in it. It doesn't matter how urgent it sounds, like limited time offer kind of investment. Keep away from it. If the interest rate of the debt is higher than what the investment is going to pay you, then that is a debt you need to keep away from it. And finally,